We have been working on power this entire month. Have you enjoyed it? Yes. So we talked about standing in your truth. That's where you start with your power, right? Then we talked about staying connected with God. Then we talked about living in a world that you can blossom in, creating a space for you to be you. And then last week we had a whole lot of fun, and we talked about allowing old patterns to dissolve. Was that fun? Yes. Okay, do you think you're getting a greater idea of power and what it means to you? Okay. We're still in it. We still are working toward mastery. So today we're talking about power in the silence. So I'm going to just remind us some things. Number one, every thought expends energy. You realize that. Your thoughts are not private, as we saw last week. Our thoughts are visible to everyone. So the things that you're thinking, the things that you're focusing on are actually taking your life force, your energy, and investing it in that. It's expending your energy. Say, I got it? Do you really? Yes. Okay. Let me give you a picture. If anybody's ever dealt with, if there's any teenagers in here, forgive me. But if any adult has dealt with a teenager who is not speaking to you. You got one at home right now. And they're angry with you. Do they have to say a word? Can you hear their thoughts? Loud and clear. Yeah. So what they're thinking, because it's charged with an intensity, is very obvious. But even and they're good at it, so that's why I use them as an example. But even with your adult friends, you can almost feel their thoughts because they are putting energy into it. Got it? And you think you're exempt, don't you? I'm exempt. No. All right. So let's go back to our formula. Force is the energy of God. As the energy of God moves through the form, it becomes power. And whatever form it's moving through dictates the power that's expressed. So the energy of God moving through the form of an angry mind becomes anger power. Got it? The energy of God moving through the form of a relaxed and happy mind becomes relaxed and happy power. Got it? Yes. Simple. Okay. All right. The force moves through the form. The form is designed by your thoughts and desires. And how you express your power is dictated by that, your thoughts and desires. It's not only your actions or words. Because when we do speak and we take action, we are actually demonstrating force as well, are we not? But it's not just that. It's also what's happening in the internal. It is the thoughts and desires of the inner invisible world of you. That is also your power. The inner invisible world of you. How different is your world from somebody else? Power in the silence. Power in the silence. You cannot be full of an emotion and be in the silence, even though you say nothing, because you're speaking, okay? Power in the silence is about being in an energy that is still and it does not respond, is not reacting, is not pumped up, is not expressing in reaction to anything around it. Power in the silence is being still in your power of self. We are not expending energy in response to someone else's stuff. I wanted to remind us of when Jesus got silent. He did several times. The most big time when he was silent was after Gethsemane, when he was arrested and he was taken to trial. And the first trial, he spoke a few things. You say you're a son of God. You say, I'm son of God. He spoke a few things, and after that moment, he never spoke again. They took him to, 3, 4 other places to be interrogated, and he wouldn't speak. He wouldn't speak because there was absolutely no value in speaking. They could not be educated. They had an agenda, and he needed his power and his energy for what he knew he had to do. So no matter what was around him, he pulled himself in. I know what I'm doing. Take me through the process. I am not going to expend any energy in trying to be heard. I've been speaking freely for 3 years. If you didn't hear me, you're not going to. You hear? And it was probably one of the most powerful examples of when Jesus pulled in. And he did it periodically, but this one we can all see, and we can see clearly why he pulled in. So staying in our energy sometimes means not responding to the things that come at us. Sometimes it means, so what am I doing here? What is my energy? What do I need? Coming back to that. And I know I used to teach people many years ago because I would go through it. Every time I was in an uncomfortable situation and someone was coming at me for any reason. Again, it could be just to try to get me on their team, to manipulate me, to get me whatever. And I would shut my eyes and I would just say, God, why am I here? What am I to learn? Why am I here? And I would just sit in the silence. I didn't respond to the person who had the sales pitch or was upset. It was like, and I would always say something that disengaged. Okay, well, let me be with that. And I see your passion. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So let me just be back in my energy. And that was this little tiny example of just pulling your energy back instead of feeling like we have to respond to everything that comes at us. This is one of the first steps of having power in the stillness and in the silence. It's bringing your energy home. Jesus was able to do this because he always went into the silence. You guys know that. So in chapter 40, I just wanted to read a couple of things. He is a young man in chapter 40. And he is meditating, and this is a popular scripture we use a lot. It says that he was at in Caspar at a school, at a temple, and one of the priests of the temple, not Jewish, one of the priests of the temple was watching him meditate, and he saw a light as though some mighty spirit overshadowed him. And when Jesus was done, he asked him about the light. And Jesus said, "There is a silence where the soul may meet its God, where the fount of wisdom is, and all who enter in are immersed in light, filled with wisdom, love, and power." And then the master said, "Tell me how to get there." And Jesus gives a long, step-by-step how-tos. This is chapter 40 in the Aquarian, which I encourage you to read, of how to get centered, how to set aside your ideas and thoughts and things along those lines. The bottom line is, at the end of the chapter, when you are inside yourself in the silence, what you find is the treasure of who you are. This is where you begin to see, who am I? What gifts do I have? How is the universe supporting me? It takes us to self. Oneness with God, but it takes us to self. So finding the treasure of who I am is the byproduct of finding the silence within. Finding the treasure of who I am in God light. He says in here, your human will has to be absorbed by the divine will, which means my perception needs to align with my divine self. You got that? Like from my human perceptions, I might think this is not good. I don't like this. When I breathe and I start moving into the silence and I feel my divine self says, it's happening for a reason. Lift up. Let me show you why. Let me show you the gift. Do you see? And you know how to do that, right? Do we remember to do it? Okay, we've got 50-50 here. Okay. When we can feel that the divine self has now educated my perceptions, I have purpose, I have beingness, and I can feel my oneness with God. I was meditating the other day, guys, and something had happened in my world that I had no control over. We had gotten something, and it didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. And I was going into meditation. I'm fine. I'm feeling God's love. I'm meditating, and I asked the question, Father, because I felt God had gifted us with something that's not what we got. I went, oh my God, it's a gift from God. That's not what showed up. I went, oh my God. So my question as I'm going into meditation, Father, what within me does not receive the gifts you have to give me? immediately my heart went into severe pain. And I was in severe pain for 5 minutes. It wouldn't let go. And I yelled for Patrick, and he came up and Reiki'd me. And I'm just saying, okay, I'm trying to let go. What is it? What is within me that will not receive the gifts that you bring me, God? What is within me? And in doing that with the Reiki, I was able to move into a perspective. With Patrick's help, the Reiki coming, I was able to move into a perspective of seeing, maybe I don't even need to know why. I just need to decide I'm done. And then it was able to lift up and out of my heart. But it was a very severe and very real pain. But look at the question. What within me is blocking me receiving all that I know you have for me? And I saw that it was mine. What happened, God? Me happened. Something in my heart. But just by saying, okay, I'm ready to let it go, it stopped. But it took 5 minutes or so of just Patrick Reiki and me, talking to me, having me breathe, and me doing the internal work. That is I share that as an example of, not that I'm not perfect, that's not why I'm sharing it. I share that as an example of divine perspective, human perspective. I did not receive. Divine said, let go. I got you. This is okay. I got you. Let go the block in your heart. You see? Divine perspective. In that moment, since that moment, I'm at peace. Everything is in order. Do you see? And whatever happens, happens. I'm at peace. How often do we hold the pain about something in our lives before we can get the divine I am perspective of it in our consciousness? You've all been down these paths. You all know what I'm talking about. And so it's really a reminder, but it's a reminder that we need. We need to remember to go to the divine perspective, because I, in fact, did create that moment. It was in my life, I created it. When Jesus went into the silence, he would go into the silence to find his strength with God, and he always was in the silence. When you read the Aquarian or the New Testament, Jesus was always going away to meditate, was he not? He would meditate all the time, and he would go away to meditate. He would meditate with his guys, his 12, and his crew. He would get his people, he'd meditate with them, and then he would go away and meditate by himself. He meditated with the masters. He would stay in meditation for 7 days. 7 days in the silence, in meditation, 7 days. In our world, we don't think that's possible, do we? We got responsibilities. But could we do an hour every day for 7 days? I know you do something every day, right? We meditate to some degree every day. But maybe we could move it to an hour or to a committed time where we're going above and beyond our norm for 7 days. How would that be? What do you think would happen to your power if you were able to do that? Do you think you would find that higher self perspective? Yes, you would. It is bringing our energy back home, and the thoughts are able to let go. We want to disconnect from all of our stuff, don't we? The easiest way to disconnect from your problems is to connect with God. That's the easiest way. Just connect with God. The problems disappear. They're gone. And then you and God, Creator, the Christ in you, God, Jesus Christ, you have a higher viewing point that sees the mystical purpose of everything around you for a nanosecond. And you've got clarity. When I reconnect with God, my focus is on God. I feel the light, and it radiates to all. When I'm connected with God, when I have my problems and I'm able to let them go, I connect with God. Do you not think the light that I'm emanating in that moment goes to my problems? Goes to my problems. Dissolves my problems. Because I'm in that beautiful new space. Pulling your power back, connecting with God, disconnects you from the worries and the concerns of the earth. You are still in the earth. You are a part of the earth. Yet you are not controlled by the circumstances. When you feel God, you feel loved, powerful, provided for, and you feel peace, no matter what your circumstances are. loved, provided for, at peace. Powerful. The energy of God presence moving through your world in that moment creates a bubble of light that you walk through for the rest of the day. In the New Testament, it says, let your eye be single. Let your eye be made single. And this is a moment of the purity of vision when our eye becomes single. And have you ever been meditating, talking to God, meditating, and then right here in the third eye area, there's a pop. And it's like now you see one. You see one light. You guys do that? It goes pop. One light. When I was a kid, I did this all the time. You ever shut an eye? Shut an eye? Shut an eye? And you see the things move that you're looking at? Because one eye sees this way, one eye sees this way. It's amazing to me that they give us an unblurred vision. You know, that somewhere in our brain it connects these two eyes to give you a singular vision. But we actually see two different directions, two different. If your one eye is stronger than the other, you might see more clearly, you might see more closely. But our brain puts it together to give us one picture. When we're meditating and we get to that space where we get that pop, our third eye, which is the vision to the divine, is one-sided. It's one picture. It's not here, there. It's one. And in it is truth. You have had these experiences when you were walking in the world, too, without meditation. You've had these experiences when you're looking at something and something's wonderful and you expand and you go, the eye becomes single, everything is crisp, it's clean, it's clear, and it's filled with beauty. Do you remember those moments? In those moments, your divine I am is witnessing the world you are walking in, and you are witnessing as that. The divine you are is present in you, and it is witnessing, participating with, one with what it's looking at. And don't you feel inspired in those moments? And do you have any problems in those moments? No. What if we could walk with that eye open in the world all the time? How powerful would we be? How hopeful would we be? How amazing would we be? And then we could see, oh, I think I want to do this. And then the form that we become is aligned with the divine, and it becomes a beautiful creation that we create. When we're really going into that moment of being able to see clearly in the silence, the thoughts quiet, and we become transcendent. We are greater than what we see around us. Your spirit is seeing, but it is feeling one with all there is. This is being in the world of God. It's not in the world, not of the world, it's in the world of God. When the force moves through a receptive state of awareness, the force of God is moving through a form, which is a receptive state of awareness. The God power is now flowing through me. It did not change. So I wanted to share with you the 1, 2, 3s. So we're going to talk about meditation, 1, 2, 3s. Not how to find it spontaneously walking in the world. That's on you guys. How many of you have some sort of meditation practice? That's a good amount. How many have prayer practice? Awesome. So what we want to do is we want to turn to God. That's all we want. We want to turn to God, right? So to find the power in the silence, to find the power in the stillness, there are things that we can do to prepare our bodies, especially if it's just going to be a 20-minute meditation. Hey, God, I'm in for 20. Get me to the silence fast. You know? So the first thing that you always do is you pray. Surround yourself in a space of protection, of light, of whatever. Father, Mother, God, surround me with love as I go within. Let my angels be with me. Higher self in my body. Say whatever word you're guided to say. But what you're doing is you're creating a space of safety. Why do we do that? Because there's environments outside. There's this outside. There's that outside. There's the other thing outside, right? And you go, oh, yeah, Patrick's listening to a game. I wonder what's happening. Okay, wait, oh, I hear a kid outside. You know, but when we say the prayer, it automatically creates this space around you. So when you create that safety, it starts setting the intention of your mind to shut out anything but what I'm working on. I'm not going to hear it. Then the next thing that we do is we want to break the patterns held in the body. Because our body has vibrational patterns in it. Have you ever been antsy and you sit down to meditate and it's like, and the body itches or scratches or you don't feel good or whatever, you're not comfortable. So those are patterns. Those aren't realities, it's patterns. So you can break the patterns. I do it one of two ways. You can do it through breathing or squeezing. So breathing, taking a breath and letting it move through your body will change the body formula. Contracting and squeezing the body and then letting it go will also change it because the body's holding whatever you've been thinking about. But when you squeeze up the body, scrunch it up, and then let go, the body goes, oh, what was that? Okay, I'm relaxed now. Or if you do the breath, it goes, okay, all right, that's different. So practice. Do you guys want to breathe or squeeze? Okay. We're going to do 3 puffs and 2 deep with an exhale. So watch me and then follow me. Okay, puff. Puff, puff, puff. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Ready? Do it 3 puffs. Puff, puff, puff. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. What do you feel in your body now? Do you feel the vibrating in your body? An altering. The body is now at attention. It has now left the pattern of listening to me and is now at attention to what do you want to do next. So we've interrupted the physical. And you can do that more than what we just did. This is just for a little example. The second step is to interrupt the emotional. So after we've done this, if there's anything that you're working on, and you may need to do emotional first, but it's easier after you've done this. Let's say you do have an issue with something that is not working in your world. You can say now, Father, I surround with white light. I cocoon with white light that person I'm having a problem with. I give it to you. I cocoon that situation with white light that's heavy on my heart. I give it to you. And I cocoon this and I give it to you. Or you can say, everything that bothers me, one big cocoon. And I give it to you. So ready? Okay. In your mind, just see one person or one situation that's bothering you. Got it? Father, I ask for a white cocoon to come around it. And I give it to you, God. And where did your focus go immediately after you lifted it up? Did it come back to you? Okay. You can open your eyes. Was that easy? We could have done more, but did you notice your focus comes back to you? It's like, okay, now what's next? So the emotional body is no longer holding on. Okay? Now, the third thing that we can do is to give the mind something to do, because the mind loves to think, doesn't it? You know, I watched baby Hazel. Baby Hazel's 2.5 years old. She and I can have very in-depth conversations. And then she can say, yellow's my favorite color. I know, baby. Then we can talk about something else really in-depth, and then she'll say, yellow's my favorite color. Okay, baby. She loops. She has very in-depth conversations, and she'll hit a loop again. She'll just say something that she said before, just so to make sure I heard her. But I thought, God, I wonder why is she doing that? And then God said, wonder why you do it. I loop. I'll be thinking, and I'll think something. I just thought that. I'm looping. So your brain is always seeking some thought. So when we're meditating, what I choose to do, you choose whatever you want to choose. What I choose to do is to use you can call it a mantra. It's an affirmation. Call it what you want. So I do this. I say, for the reason of giving my left brain something to do. That's why I'm doing it. I say, God and I are one deeper. Go deeper, Cindy. God and I are one deeper. When I say that, it gives the brain, it keeps my left brain occupied so that the inner deeper can take me into a different space. Now, we're going to do the whole thing in a minute, okay, y'all? But I want you to hear the logic behind it. Did you understand the logic behind it? So we have now interrupted the body pattern. We have interrupted the emotional pattern. And now we've assigned the brain. Now we can go into a space where we can actually hit the stillness. The stillness. And in that moment, the connection with God is so deep and real. It may last 5 minutes, it may last 2 minutes, it may last a half an hour, however you need, whatever energy you need. But it brings all of your power home. That's the thing, it brings all of your power home. You guys clear on that? Power in the stillness. Then when I open my eyes, whatever form I am choosing to channel God power through is clear, concise, and being governed by my higher self. I'm not just willy-nilly creating what I did yesterday. I'm actually creating something new and different. Pretty simple, huh? All right, let's do it. So we'll do the breathing again. So we're just going to go through this very, very gently. Father, Mother God, I ask that the infinite love and light of your kingdom, your peace, your love just engulf this church family. And I ask that each one feel a beautiful calm of light come over them. And we ask that a space be created for a short connection of the divine. Feel your willingness. And let's do 3 breaths and 2 long twice. We're going to puff. Ready? Interrupting the body. Puff, puff, puff. Breathing in. Breathing out through the mouth. Puffing one more time. Puff, 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 puff. Breathing in. Out through the mouth. Breathing in. Out through the mouth. Feel your body. Thank you, body. Now I want you to visualize an issue that you currently have, a situation. See it in front of you. Father, Mother God, I ask that the cocoon of white light engulf this situation. And I give it to you. And I ask that the person that is bothering me, a person I might have challenge with, be surrounded in a cocoon of your white light, God. And I give them to you. And I ask that anything else that is bothering me, I see the picture of it or the energy, and I ask that it is cocooned in your white light. And I give it to you, Father, Mother God. And begin to feel your focus back on your heart, the chest, the white light going through you. And in your mind, you don't have to say it out loud. God and I are one. Go deeper. God and I are one. Deeper. Christ and I are one. Deeper. God and I are one. Deeper. God and I are one. Deeper. God and I are one. Lift me through the veil, God. Lift me through the veil. God and I are one. Breathe in the energy that you feel. Let it move through all that you are. feel your heart one with God love. And feel that love moving out into your world. And we thank you, Father, Mother God, and I thank you, Jesus Christ, for standing by each, holding our hands. Take a breath. God and I are one. Deep breath in, sending your love into the room, feeling your body in the chair. I love my life. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. I know that was very fast. Did anybody feel altered? Okay. Do you see it's an easy technique? And then if you need to go on a journey, you can go on a journey, whatever you need to do. But those steps brought our power back to us. You should feel your heart just a little different than it was when we started. Those few steps brought us back to us. And it was fast. So where can you do this? Anywhere. You can do this anywhere. And you can stay in it for as long as you choose. The power in the silence with God. This is where we truly know who we are. You know, we think as humans in this earth plane that we have to fight for our rights. And Jesus taught, you don't have to fight for your rights. You were given everything from the universe. It's yours by nature. You don't have to fight for anything. Align your heart with the universe. It's yours. Cindy needed to hear that this week when she was having her moment. Some of you might need to hear that next week as you're having yours. But we are becoming powerful beings of light. Say, yea, God.
Yea, God.
So it is.